Hi, my name is Tim Williams. I'm the online church pastor. In case you're wondering, am I in the right place? Yes, you are in exactly the right place. Welcome to your Life with God small group. You're going to spend the next 5 weeks together, getting to know each other, getting to know some of our staff members, but most importantly, discovering together what living a life with God can actually look like. Someone once said, it takes people to make people sick, and it takes people to make people well. So take a quick look around your group. I think God might want to use you and me and all of us to help each other, to encourage each other, to challenge each other toward growth. And that's what we're going to be doing these next 5 weeks together. And look, I know it can be kind of scary to join a group like this. Even if you're an extrovert, it can be scary. But if you're an introvert, it can be really scary. So first off, just way to go for even showing up. And really, that's all you need to do each week. There's no real homework or reading assignments. Isn't that nice? Just commit to showing up however you can each week. And I believe God will work in your life and through your life. Now, just so you know, here's what each week will look like. You'll start off with a fun or interesting icebreaker question provided by your group leader. Hi, group leader. Then you'll watch a 10-minute video together, and then you'll have some time to discuss the topic of that week. And finally, you'll spend a few minutes praying for each other, and that's it. As a church, we have 5 values that we believe are the key elements to living a life with God. And so those are the 5 things we're going to talk about in the coming weeks. Now, we're going to start talking about those next week. But this week, we want to set the tone by saying this: Eagle Brook Church is a come-as-you-are church. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have your stuff figured out to belong and be loved here. In fact, I'm certain that nobody's perfect. None of us, not you, and definitely not me. And guess what? God knows that. He knows everything about you. Nothing is hidden from Him, and He loves you completely. He wants us to love each other just like He loves us. And that's why we're a come-as-you-are kind of church. But here's the thing, when we come to God just as we are, He loves us so much that yes, He will meet us right where we are. But He won't leave us there. He loves us too much. He always invites us to more with Him. So this week, we're going to hear a story of how God can meet us where we are, but then invite us to more.
I'm Bruce Zock. I'm 55 years old. I was married for 23 years, divorced now, remarried. I have 3 boys, self-employed since I was 19 years old, working hard every day. When I was 13 years old, there was a body shop across the street from my dad's house, and my dad says, why don't you go over there and see if you can get a job? And I walked over there, and I just liked working on cars, and I ended up doing it for a trade. I like taking something that's broken or bent and straightening it out, learning how to use the tools to fix it, and getting the self-satisfaction and the results you want, and making it look all pretty again. It's kind of what God has done in my life. He brought me back to life, actually, just like I bring the cars back to life. The first 48 years of my life, I was just a broken person. I was drinking and partying and doing all the things I shouldn't have did. I was in debt, mortgages, credit cards. Money was a big factor. I was always chasing the dollar. 14, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, which really put a lot of stress on my marriage and my family life. All these things that just led me to disaster. There was just not God in our life. In 2010, our marriage ended. There were some things happened behind my back that I wasn't aware of, and I was completely destroyed. In the fetal position in the bottom of the shower. I was desperate. It was rock bottom for me. I felt like suicide. I felt like there was no place to go. I felt like there was no one on this earth that could really help me through this. Normally I would have went to the bar, But this time, for some reason, I picked up the phone, I called church, and I said, I need help. I met with a young John Alexander who sat and talked with me for a couple hours. He really prayed with me and told me that God loved me. And he set me up with another young man from Eagle Brook. And I met with him every Tuesday night at the coffee shop. And he would pray with me and answer questions. And he would give me some advice. He just said, read Scripture, build on your relationship with Christ. It took a lot of work from me, but I had a reclining lawn chair, and every day like clockwork, I sat in that lawn chair and I read Scripture. And I told myself I was going to go to church every Saturday, and I went every Saturday faithfully. That was a big part of my journey. And through this, I met some good Christian friends that invited me to come to their Bible study. And with the strength from those guys and sticking my head into the book and really hearing God's message and learning about Him, I learned to have that day-to-day relationship that has carried me through now. It's almost like the power that God raised His Son from death to save us came into my life, and it surrounded me. It just excites me. I just can't live without it. When He's working in your life, you can't deny it. He's there. There's no magic. He's just there to help you. He's there to hold you up. All of this really made me become a solid man. And with that said, do I still sin and fail? Of course I do. But no matter what I'm going through, the inner joy is still in me. I know how to get through every single day because Christ is there for me. He saved me. So the things that have happened to me since that phone call, I'm in a whole different place. God took all the pain I had away. I forgave my ex-wife 100%. If somebody would have told me that that was possible, I would have called them a liar. There's just so many blessings I've had. I've met a wonderful woman that has God in her life. God comes first in my life and first in her life, and that's what makes our relationship work. I pray on my decisions, which is a really big thing. All my relationships are better. My financials are better. I serve at church 3 weekends out of the month. I try to fill in on the 4th one if I'm able to. It's just a part of my life now. I've just been so blessed, and it's almost when I look back, I don't even know how it really all happened besides me having that relationship with Christ. It's just, I got a smile sitting here. The joy that I feel has just changed me.
I love that story because it's a real story. It's a story about a real person who has real struggles and needed real hope. And we believe that that hope is found in Jesus. It doesn't matter what your life looks like. There's no struggle too great, no challenge too big. There's no darkness too dark in your life that Jesus can't overcome it. And our marching orders as a community for each other is simply to do this, to love one another. Jesus said that people will know we are His followers, not because we have all the right theological answers, because we don't, not because our lives look perfect and we'll make all of our decisions just right, because we won't. He says people will know we're His followers because we love one another. And so that's what we're going to do in this group for the next 5 weeks. Now, your group leaders are about to lead you in a time of discussion. They're going to tee up some questions for you. But as your pastor, I want to encourage you with this. You will get out of this group what you put into it. You will get out of this group what you put into it. So, to the extroverts joining us today, you probably don't need any more encouragement to put more into it. You're probably ready to go, ready to share. You've already got a story in mind, and that's great. But I want to encourage you to just make space for others to speak in these discussion times. And to the introverts joining us, this is going to take some courage for you, and I totally get that. But I think it's going to be worth it. So I want to encourage you to speak up, even if you don't feel like it. Because again, you'll get out of this what you put into it. Now, group leaders, I'm handing it over to you. I'll see you next week.